Alright, so let's talk about one of my personal favorite RPGs, Lunar: The Silver Star Story. I've loved this game ever since the PlayStation 1 days. It just had everything. A heartfelt story, charming characters, an incredible soundtrack, that 90s anime aesthetic that I just love, and now in 2025 we have another remaster that brings it back to life on more modern platforms, such as Xbox, PlayStation, Switch, and Steam this time. Today, I'm going to dive into what makes this remaster special, what still holds up with the game proper, and whether this legendary RPG can still recapture that magic in the current era. Stick with me for my review of Lunar: The Silver Star Story. Let's start with a little bit of context. Lunar: The Silver Star Story originally came out on the Sega CD in the early 90s, but it didn't blow up until the PlayStation 1 remake in 1999. That version, Silver Star Story Complete, is the one that maybe most of us fell in love with. The beautiful hand-drawn anime cutscenes, the voice acting, that unforgettable working designs localization. It was witty, emotional, and a little extra, but I personally adored it. So when they announced this 2025 remaster, I was really optimistic. Could they really do justice to something that means so much to so many people, while maybe possibly altering some of the things that rubbed people the wrong way all of those years ago? Visually, the remaster is faithful and respectful. It didn't go the full 3D remake route or the HD 2D style that Square Enix uses. Instead, we get two options, the original version and the remastered version. The remastered version is what I played, and instead of getting a full remake treatment, we get some redrawn sprites, upscaled backgrounds, and smoother animations across the board. It looks just like how you remember it looking back in the day, while having those little bits of extra tweaks that make it look really nice. It finds a really nice sweet spot between the original and something a little bit more modern in a remake. The UI has been cleaned up and everything runs smoothly. And even the anime cutscenes are now in HD. It's still the original art, just remastered / upscaled. And they still look pretty good in my opinion. But the coolest feature of this whole package is the fact that the remastered version is also included along with the original PlayStation 1 version, and that means for both games, so you technically are getting 4 versions of 2 different games. And you can select between them in the main menu. If you want, you can swap between them at any time and compare the differences, but in general they look fairly similar. Whether you want that a little more polished look or to revisit that grainy charm of the 1999 version, it's all here in one package. It's a fantastic way to celebrate the game's legacy without really alienating longtime fans who really just want that classic nostalgic hit. This kind of care and preservation is quite rare, and as someone who grew up with the original, having both versions side by side honestly feels like a really nice feature to have. The soundtrack is still just one of my personal favorites in gaming. Songs like Wind's Nocturne just stick with you, and it does here too. The music has been remastered and some of the original tracks have been retweaked as well, but they still have that original warmth and emotional impact intact, so don't worry on that front.
Welcome, visitors. It seems that you're here in pursuit of knowledge. If so, you're in luck. With my abilities, I can see many things, past, present, or future, whatever you desire. So, are you curious? Would you like to learn what the future holds?
The voice acting has also been remastered in the remastered version, with some new voice actors and some new dubs. But the original version also has some tweaks to it too, just to clean things up for the audio and for clarity, but the tone is still spot on. There's even an option to switch between the original and updated music and soundtracks, which is a nice touch for the purists out there. The heart of Lunar has always been its characters. Alex's coming-of-age journey, Luna's mysterious past, the goofy yet endearing party members, it all just works. It's a classic tale of heroism, love, friendship, but it's told with such sincerity and heart that it just hits home even decades later. Characters like Null and Ramus bring some comic relief, and while Nash, for better or worse, still finds a way to be a lovable idiot, it all just works. And my personal favorite character, Jessica, is still one of the most underrated badass female characters in RPG history. The combat system is an old school turn-based style of combat with a slight tactical twist. Character placement matters and spells have AoEs. Managing spacing can mean the difference between making a battle pretty easy or having to go through a couple of extra turns. Now, this is where some modern players might struggle. The game is a bit slow paced by modern standards, but thankfully you can speed up the combat. And it is quite a simple game. Aside from a few certain boss battles and maybe just using your own volition, you can go through this game just using the AI auto battle for quite a bit of it. It's a pretty easy combat experience, just to be honest, but honestly that's a bit of its charm. It's a very simple thing, and the quality of life updates like faster movement and quick saves and adjustable battle speed really just take the edge off, so I wouldn't worry about it too much. But I do want to mention a few sore spots. No matter how much I love this game, it does have a few things that I think people need to be aware of. Some people might find the pacing a bit dated. The first few hours are a bit slower than modern RPGs. It's not super action-packed, but I personally think the slow burn of leaving your town and going on an adventure is really charming and unique in this day and age. The dungeon design is also pretty basic for most dungeons. The simple layouts and minimal puzzles, it's not bad, but it's not going to be jogging your brain at any point usually. There are a few quirky moments, but they're pretty far and few between. And while I personally love the localization's quirky style, it's always been a point of contention with the English version of this game. Some people don't exactly like it, but I personally do. I think it just helps the game overall. It might be a bit over the top for a few people, with some of the very serious story beats having quite a few quips placed in them. It's still, the characters play off of each other very well, and there's lots of banter to enjoy. And once again, I personally like it, but I think it might be a little bit of a poignant point to remember for people who don't like that kind of thing. At the end of the day though, Lunar Silver Star Story Remastered is everything I hoped it would be. It's a loving tribute to a game that helped define my love of RPGs. It's not a reinvention, it's a preservation, I guess. And for fans like me, it's exactly what we wanted. If you grew up with the PlayStation 1 version, then this is the definitive way to re-experience it again. If you're new to the world of Lunar, then I think this is the perfect package to discover and figure out why this game means so much to a whole generation of gamers out there. But once again, thank you for watching this review, everyone. Let me know down in the comments, what do you think? Did you play the original Lunar? Are you diving into the remaster as your first Lunar experience? I would love to hear your comments and your memories if you have them in the comments below. I hope you enjoyed the video. Drop a like, sub, and hit the bell for notifications if you don't want to miss more reviews from me, and maybe a few more classic RPGs at the moment, because I'm kind of in an RPG mood at the moment. I'm kind of playing a few different ones at this point, so I'm kind of surprised I got this one done. Either way, as always, thank you for hanging out with me, and I hope to see you again next time. Keep it locked here for more videos, and thank you for watching. Stay safe out there and be nice to each other.